What's good, everybody? This is NYG22 bringing you Unpopular Opinion Sports. Let's get it. What's good, everybody? All right, we back, and today we're going to be taking a look at the AFC North as we go division by division and pick a sleeper team or a team that could surprise a few people in each division. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter than the last video because I do want you guys to watch the videos all the way through. We probably will be taking a little bit deeper dive in the NFC East division, obviously, because the Giants play in that division, and maybe in the AFC East as well for the Jets fans. So that being said, let's get into it. All right, so starting off here with the Bengals, finished 10-7, first place in the AFC North last year. We all know they went to the Super Bowl, lost Super Bowl to the Rams 23-20. Super Bowl they probably could have, should have won. Looking at the draft class, not too impressed with the draft picks that they took. They went heavy in the secondary, which is what they really needed the most, I believe. And in free agency, they went out and got major upgrades for Joe Burrow, which was good because that O-line was not very good. They did pick up Alex Kappa, Linnell Collins, and Ted Karras. So 3 major upgrades for the Bengals on the offensive line. PFF has them projected to be 8th, so that's pretty good for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. So overall, solid weapons for Joe Burrow. They got Joe Mixon, of course, a stud. Jamar Chase, another stud, and Hayden Hurst starting at tight end. So overall, good group on offense for Joe Burrow and the crew. Now looking at the defense, of course, defense is solid too. They played real well last year. Secondary is questions when you got Eli Apple as your starting cornerback. But outside of that, they did, like I said, add some pieces to the secondary. So hopefully they can round into form. The pass rush is pretty good. Excellent, of course. Sam Hubbard, BJ Hill, and those guys should be solid for the Bengals. So moving on here to the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, who finished 9-7-1, lost to the Chiefs in the wild card round, 42-21. Big news here, of course, is Big Ben finally retiring, and of course, them taking Kenny Pickett, his replacement, in the first round. Interestingly enough, the Steelers did not draft any O-linemen with their draft picks, but not too bad of a group. I do like the George Pickens pick and DeMarvin Leal, of course, in the 3rd round. 2 solid pickups for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Looking at the free agency, they didn't do a whole lot in free agency. They did pick up James Daniels, the guard from Chicago, and Mason Cole, the center from Minnesota. Of course, also signing Mitchell Trubisky and Miles Jack from Jacksonville. Looking at the offense, the big thing here with the Steelers is the major questions across the offensive line. PFF has them projected to be the 30th, saying that the offensive line could be problematic. But the skill position group is solid, led, of course, by Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and recently drafted George Pickens. The other question here with the Steelers is going to be who's going to start at quarterback. Is it going to be Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett? I don't believe Mason Rudolph factors into this battle whatsoever. Now, the defense struggled a little bit last year. I think they finished around 19th or 20th. But this defense is good. Don't get it twisted. You know, they do have Michael Fitzpatrick as a free safety there on the back end. They got solid pass rushers. You're talking about Miles Jack, Devin Bush, and TJ Watt. Could be one of the best groups in football. So don't get it twisted. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be fine on defense. They usually always are. So not too worried about Pittsburgh on the defensive end. Now looking here at the Browns, they finished 8-9, 3rd in the division. Of course, the big news here is the Deshaun Watson trade, getting Deshaun Watson from the Texans. And they also just recently traded Baker Mayfield to the Panthers. So a lot of willing and dealing for the Browns as far as the quarterback position is concerned. Now looking at their draft, of course, their draft was decent. Of course, they had to give up a few of those draft picks to get Deshaun Watson, but they still came away with 9 draft picks. So that was pretty good. And despite not picking until the 3rd round, I think they did okay. Now, no real free agency news to speak of. They did re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. Of course, Jarvis Landry was not re-signed, and they did make a trade for Amari Cooper to replace Jarvis Landry. So looking at it from the offensive point of view, the Browns are solid. The Browns got a solid team. Of course, they got a top 5 O-line in football with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, one of the best 1-2 RB tandems in the game. Wide receivers are, they're decent. You know, Amari Cooper's okay. Then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Njoku at tight end. So the thing is here, how many games will Deshaun Watson play? Will he be suspended by the NFL? Of course, they got Jacoby Brissett as a backup in case that happens. So the defense is solid, of course, led by Myles Garrett. I think they probably got a potential to be a top 10 unit. And Browns are a team that could have a top 10 unit on offense and defense. So Cleveland has got a solid roster, real solid roster. Of course, the major question is Deshaun Watson. How will he look coming back from having a year off of football? And also, is it going to be some legal issues still brewing when the season comes along? So if we're looking here at the Baltimore Ravens now, they finished 8-9, actually tied with the Browns, but they were last in the division. Lamar Jackson looking to get paid, especially after this Kyler Murray contract. So that's the big news there for Baltimore. Also losing longtime defensive coordinator Wink Martindale to the Giants, so we'll see how that affects that defense. Now the Ravens went out here and had themselves a hell of a draft. I mean, a hell of a draft. Looking at the first 3 picks, Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, and David Ojabo, those were 3 players that were projected to go possibly in the top 10. So for them to get those guys where they picked them at was a phenomenal job, in my opinion, by the Ravens. So no real splash moves here in free agency. No major losses either. They did go out and sign Marcus Williams, free safety from New Orleans. Picked up Morgan Moses from the Jets to fill the right tackle position, and of course re-signing Calais Campbell. So pretty quiet on the free agency front for the Ravens. Now the Ravens just have a solid team. They're one of those teams that, you know, they're solid. They're kind of like Steelers, we just talked about. Now the offensive line is good. Like I said, they did go get Tyler Linderbaum and Morgan Moses. Of course, having Ronnie Stanley come back will be a big help to Lamar Jackson. Now skill position players, they kind of but you know, you do have Lamar Jackson and one of the best tight ends in the game in Mark Andrews, so I think they will be okay. Now looking at the defense fell off a little bit last year, but still a solid group. Not sure how the loss of Wink Martindale is going to affect this unit, but health was a major issue last year. So I think if the Ravens can stay healthy, they'll be all right on defense. This division is very, very tight. These teams are very, very evenly matched, and it's kind of hard to pick one team over the other. But if we're going to pick a sleeper team, a team I think people are sleeping on, for real, it's got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's only one reason that I'm saying Pittsburgh is because of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in the NFL. Never. He's finished 500 or better in all 15 years he's been coaching. That is phenomenal. Year in and year out, he finds a way to have this team in playoff contention, whether they have injuries, offensive line issues, defensive issues, whatever the case is. Mike Tomlin is going to find a way to have Pittsburgh in contention. Think about it. Last year, they got slept on and still beat out the Ravens and the Browns and almost caught the Bengals within one game of tying Cincinnati for the division crown. Now, a lot of this depends on how Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky play, and if the O-line can improve from last season, because last year they were just bad. But if those things line up, you could see Pittsburgh right there again when the season is ending. So that's all I got for today. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. You think I'm tripping with with my picks here with these sleepers, or you think they hold some merit, or who would you pick? Just let me know down in the comments below. Appreciate everybody, and peace.